What's up, guys? We are back loading up another load of firewood for a customer. Another load, another load. These are kind of short pieces of firewood here. These are the general stock firewood. They range from 12 inches to 16 inches, and we are loading up. We got a whole cord of wood to deliver right now, and whoever else calls. The funny thing about this customer was he has said, you know, I think it's a crazy time to ask, but you know, do you have a cord of firewood? And I'm like, of course, I always have a cord of firewood. And he's like, well, great, bring it by. And at first we decided on Thursday, but then somebody canceled. They canceled some kind of tree cleanup that I was doing for them today, so we're doing it today. We're delivering the load today, which is great. I like to stay busy. Otherwise, if I'm not making money, especially in these times, it kind of makes me feel like I'm losing money, and I don't like to feel like I'm losing money here. Not that I'm like money hungry, I just know how life is. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't, and usually more than often it's best to have it, plus a bunch of things that you need, like maybe a freezer. But since which we might be getting our freezer back, I'm gonna probably try to hook it up to the truck. We'll see if it works out, because we didn't have a generator during this time, during the hurricane. So yeah, we were not prepared, but at the same time, it's kind of fun. Life is fun, teaches you lessons. Kind of fun to go through this, where we don't really have electricity right now, which is kind of a bummer. But if you think about it, it's not, because you get to experience what some people in third world countries experience. And hey, I mean, if you get to experience that, I mean, at least we have running water, right? I found out about this GoPro, since it's the Hero 7, the white Hero 7 version, well, it doesn't support microphones, which sucks, because this tractor is kind of loud, so I either have to turn it off or talk really loud, which kind of, it reminds me of whenever I first started working anywhere. I was working at I think Erskine College, and the people over there were like, why are you so quiet? And I was like thinking, well, this is how I usually talk, you know. I didn't know when you're serving people, you're supposed to be a little louder. So that's hilarious. That kind of just reminds me of that. But yeah, this GoPro, it doesn't support microphones. And that's probably why it was less expensive too. I remember that it was less expensive than the other ones. I got this thing years ago. It all starts making sense after a while, right? It's like, oh, what a bummer, that doesn't work, this doesn't work. It's well, sometimes it's because you didn't pay for what, you know, you didn't pay for it. Right? That's usually, in most cases, the case. At least I found. But yeah, this wood has been sitting here for about, oh, I want to say like since maybe February, I want to say. I don't know. It might have been March. So it's pretty dry, especially being cut and split in small pieces like this. I mean, it's a little damp from the hurricane, but it's pretty dry. I heard my neighbor yesterday, he had his generator running. Almost pushed the stack over. Almost went over, guys. What a dumb thing that would have been. Push the whole stack over when you're trying to not bend over. That's why you have it stacked in the first place. Well, and to keep it drier, in my opinion. At least around in these parts. Let's not run across a copperhead now. And yes, I'm wearing gloves, but that doesn't protect me at all. These copperheads, these are thin. These copperheads are gonna just bite right through that. It's like I said, it's people that just, you know, they feel protected with gloves. And I mean, they do protect you from splinters. Like I've gotten a splinter here in the wood yard. And now I'm wearing gloves because I don't want to get any more. But as soon as things start healing up on my hands, I always like to take the gloves off, you know. That's just how I am. That's how I've always been, kind of. Just don't care for gloves. I really don't. I care for them whenever it's sap, like pine sap. I care about that. I care about that, and I care about my ropes, especially when it's pine sap. But yeah, I was doing the video. I was cleaning up the yard, and I did a video on that, but I tried to do a video on the pine trees that I worked with the other day, but it just didn't work out, which is a shame. This tractor is strong. We got so far, probably like less than 20 minutes of loading so far. Guys, it is humid out here. That water is evaporating into the air because of the sun, and it is just so humid. If I was in the shade, that'd be better. But this is where the wood is. I want to make, I've wanted to make a roofing system for all of the wood, which would be very expensive, but it would probably be worth it. You know, there's definitely a technique to throwing this wood, and it has a lot to do with not twisting your back so much. And if you do end up twisting your back and you hurt your back, then like if you pull your back, then what I've been doing is I've been like putting pressure on my very lower back with my fingers and kind of just running them through, and it seems to like undo the muscle spasm. So if anybody ever wanted to try that, it helped me out last night. It helped me out a lot. Or you could just go to a professional but I usually don't do that kind of stuff. People have continuously told me that my wood is too expensive, where my argument is, well, it always sells, so it's not expensive. It's just that you don't want to pay for it right now. Like you don't want it enough for you to pay for it right now. And so it's kind of like, that's the wood game. You have customers who are willing to pay for good quality wood, which is oak and anything that's a hardwood, and there's people that appreciate wood that's nice wood, good, easygoing, burning, bright flame, even though it's a hardwood, you know, because it's been sitting for a while and it's seasoned. And then there's people that they don't appreciate wood as much. And you know what I think usually happens is they think that wood is supposed to be free, but really wood is only free usually in log form. And a lot of times if it's free, there's some work that has to be done to it, you know. And so since people have that kind of mentality that wood is supposed to be free, and why are you charging me so much for this wood, it's because of the labor that you put into the wood. It's really the base product of logs, as in like oak logs. It's not even worth anything. I mean, like, it's worth money, but it's worth money to the right person. Like, I could go sell a load of logs right now, but it's gonna be like patchy. People are gonna buy it here or there, you know. They're not gonna, people don't go looking for logs to buy. They look for splits to buy. And so basically the splits is where it's at. It's the labor that you put into it, and how much labor did you put into it, what did you do to process it down to make it into a finished product, and how long did it sit there, or did you kiln dry it, and is it dry and is it ready to burn right now? And so that's where the value in wood is. And is it in splits how the customer wants it, like this, or is it in splits that, you know, it's just too big to handle. Like, say this piece is already getting on the edge of too big to handle, you know? And a lot of times customers that don't burn wood stoves and they burn in fireplaces, they don't tend to like those huge pieces. Like, they don't want this piece right here. They generally wouldn't want too many of these pieces right here. They generally want things like this, you know, especially these wood stove guys. But yeah, they pay money for that. Rearranging the wood here because it doesn't always fall in perfectly level. It's not always perfect. Yeah, that's another thing about wood. It's definitely not perfect. So if you're a perfectionist, man, you're gonna have a hard time dealing with this, man. You're gonna have a hard time dealing with how crooked some of these pieces are, how knotted some of them are. Even if they're straight grain, you're gonna have a problem with the twists and turns in the wood and how they don't run through the splitter exactly the same every single time. And so you thought on a video it was supposed to be like some kind of great thing where they showed you where it was like, you know, they split it and it was perfect on the video, and then you buy the splitter and it's just like, hey, that's not what I thought it was. And that's hilarious because that's usually how it goes in life anyways. It's like that one burger that you buy on the picture, it was a nice burger, right? It was a nice burger, but like, dude, it's not the same thing. It's not the same as you thought it was supposed to be. All right, so here I think we might put another like quarter of a scoop or something just in case. Like, I never guarantee a full cord to anybody. I never tell anybody like it's absolutely gonna be a full cord, because I never want to get tripped up by somebody and they go ahead and tell me, well, I want my money back, or I want more wood, which I'm willing to bring more wood if it wasn't a full cord. But like, I always put that disclaimer out there, like, hey dude, like, you're not gonna, if you think you're gonna get an exact load, these loads vary. That's the thing about how I sell my wood, is I don't guarantee the full cord, but I do say I'll get as close as I can, and I'll do my best, is what I generally say. Like, I'll do my best to get as close as to a full cord or whatever amount that you want, just to keep the customer in a good understanding with you that, you know, you're gonna still try to do your part. It's not like, but what you're selling is like, you know, approximately the amount that you told them you're selling. So there's always that.